Well, hello. The title of the video for the 15th of January is Anna von Reitz, Secrecy. This grandmother from Alaska is amazing. I know what she is telling us is the truth, and she has written over 450 articles. I was part of a group here in Florida for a good while. We were doing our best to reestablish what we believe to be the constitutional republic. I was Secretary of State in that group. I saw others, including the governor, go through hell in the court system. Several lost their homes, cars, etc. It took them a bit longer to steal my home since I never had a mortgage. Still, they finally managed to pull the rug out from under me, as those who have been listening to my videos know. Anyway, Anna's info is right on. I highly recommend it. Here is the link to the recent work in case you are not familiar with her. And this is her website, and I put both of those links in there. Anyway, Paul Kramer, or Paul Stramer, I guess it is the one that lists all of her programs or puts her programs out. And then the list is, of course, on annavonreitz.com. But there's an amazing wealth of information, and I spent the morning actually having my reader, Ivana Reader, read back the data that she has published. And I must have gone through, I don't know, 10 of her articles just today. And of course, I've been reading her articles off and on for a long time. She's an amazing woman, and the information that she puts out and the people that are working with her are doing an amazing job of waking people up, which is the name of the game. We must wake up if we're ever going to take back and get back our natural rights as given by Creator. Now, some people don't want to believe that Creator is real and gives us anything, but that's your problem. Anyway, after early part of the afternoon here, after I had been spending the whole morning going through her articles, as I said, I took a little bit of a nap, and I had a dream. And in the dream, I was part of a group that was meeting in a relatively small building. And I decided that they wanted to be secret. And so I withdrew myself from the group. And then I realized where they were having their next secret meeting. And I went and I was outside the building where they were having their secret meeting, but I was somehow able to know that inside they were there was more of a seclusion within the building, not just the building itself, but within the building there was a seclusion. So there was a double secret is what that meant to me in my mind as I'm thinking about the dream before I'm making this video. And then some of the people that were in that group came out, and I talked to a couple of them, and including a couple that was in there, which was strange because it was a man and a woman, obviously. And they also started finding the idea of the secrecy was repugnant. And then one of my friends came out, and he was packing because they said the next meeting is going to be here, and you can't go home, you can't tell anybody. We're going to just get your things that you need and come back, because we're going to go right away to the next level of the group. And that's as far as the dream went. But I had been sitting, ruminating and meditating on that, and it was all started. I started out meditating and fell asleep. And that was the dream that came when I fell asleep. That's what happens oftentimes, by the way. When I meditate, I end up falling asleep. And I don't usually have quite so vivid dreams where I have such a good picture of the way everything plays out, but I did this time, and I'm grateful for it because it gives me a chance to reflect. Now, Anna von Reitz, she is revealing some of the corruption that has been taking place behind the scenes in secret places for a long time. And Eisenhower began when he was giving his farewell address back in 1960. He warned us about the military-industrial complex. And then JFK made his famous speech that secrecy is repugnant to a free people. And yet secrecy is the way that these people operate because their deeds are evil. They don't want people to know the truth because what they have been hiding is repugnant. As JFK said, it's repugnant to a people that value liberty and value freedom and value truth. They don't want truth. And this is what this is the battle, and it's not a war in the respect of fighting a war in the traditional sense of weapons, but it's a war for our hearts. It's a war for our minds. It's a war for our very soul, for us to remember again who we are and what we are and not relinquish our natural rights to those who want to control us by keeping everything a secret and by keeping things behind closed doors and by keeping the whole system obscured from the average individual's view so that the average individual could be easily deceived. I wish I could convey to humanity the importance of understanding that this kind of secrecy, political secrecy, financial secrecy, is a crime. Yes, in relationships, there are things that you don't make public. You don't make your intimate life public. That's a different thing. But there's an awful lot that goes on in our world that should be public that isn't, because the people that are working behind those shades and behind those covers of darkness are people that do not want humanity to be free. They do not want us to achieve our highest and best. They do not want us to discover who we are. And certainly they don't want us to discover our power. And what Anna von Reitz and many are doing is they are giving us the opportunity to learn about what's been going on behind the curtain and to see that those that are pulling the strings do not do so for our betterment. They do so for their betterment. It's a totally self-interested pursuit on their part. And that's why secrecy has no place, as JFK warned us shortly before he was mercilessly killed. And it wasn't what the official story was more lies and BS. He was killed by probably several people, probably shot at him. And it wasn't coming from the tower behind him. He was shot from the front, which is why his head jerked back. Anyway, that's another whole subject. But I just want you to realize that if you've been getting all of your news from the mainstream media, it's time that you stopped that. It's time that you recognize that fake news is ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN. These are fake news organizations. And there are no pure, even Fox News still has some fake news mixed in with it, although they're trying to be the conservative voice. Nevertheless, there's a lot of conservatives that are still part of the matrix system and then the control grid. These are things that we need to wake up to, folks, and I'm hoping that by me talking about it, it encourages you to do further investigation. Thank you, and namaste.